Hi, I'm Richard Friesen with Rich's Reframes. It usually takes us under 10 minutes to reframe a major cultural, political, or legal issue, and today is no exception. And today we are going to reframe our entire judicial system. Yes, Rich Friesen is tilting at windmills, but me and Don Quixote were great friends, and so we're going to continue his work here. When most of the world believed in God, humans were ascribed souls. The soul came from heaven to inhabit the person at some times before or at birth. One explanation for the genesis of astrology is that the soul comes from heaven and upon its journey to the earth passes by specific heavenly bodies which influence the character of the soul. This is the first explanation of astrology that makes sense to me. Well, I mean, relatively makes sense. So the soul is both part of ourselves and an independent free entity that has a choice to be good or to be bad, to be spiritual or to be evil. The soul was responsible totally and completely for our moral and behavioral choices, since the choices it made were not deterministic. Now, because the soul made the choices of good and evil with free will, it was also totally responsible for the choices it made. The soul couldn't blame anything or anyone for its free will choice. Hence, justice was possible. If a person commits murder because of free will, that person would bear the retribution from the justice system. In other words, they had it coming. But now we enter the age of neuroscience, psychology, and social justice. A person on trial may have had previous trauma, brain impairment, temporary insanity, imbalance of blood sugar, or other brain stresses. Now, could we judge and punish them? No. This is because our current justice system still requires free will. And free will has eroded with the discovery of more and more and more antecedents to behavior. Now, by using the previous model of a soul that has free will as the only validation for punishment, and as we learn more and more about behavioral science and neuroscience, we can point to more and more determinants of our behavior. Thus, we no longer have the free will justification for the punishment of somebody who didn't have a clear choice. After all, if they were determined by their neurology, environment, upbringing, social disadvantage, trauma, or any other cause, we can no longer justify capital punishment or even imprisonment. Our current justice system rejects the notion of a soul with free will for psychological causes, yet maintains free will as the justification for punishment. You see the problem with this model? At some point, we will be able to trace behaviors back to birth, and then there will be absolutely no justification for punishing behavior at all. Well, maybe except for those who are out of political favor, and they will be assigned a free will. So, if we can no longer use free will to justify our punishment, and we expand the deterministic causation, will this lead to a post-apocalyptic world where all the impulses are tolerated, expanding to destructive behaviors? I say no. Why? We will, out of self-preservation, along with a move to a world of determinism, make a change. This change punishes not free will, but just bad choice, but for bad behaviors. That's right. There may not be a soul who makes bad choices, but for whatever reason, a person has behaved badly. No excuses. You are punished for the behavior, period. Yeah, I know. There's all sorts of details to sort out, such as unintentional outcomes, insanity, and so forth. And yes, it will be messy. But these messy issues will be resolved from a new foundation of behavior, not free will. If you use the deterministic model for human choices, then the punishment for behavior alone makes sense. The anticipated punishment is now a new determinant. Rich Friesen with Rich's Reframes.